So, as you've read from the title, I'll be running something called the Double Smolov Jr program, which is something I've sort of just designed myself just earlier this morning. Um, Basically what it is it's not two Smolov Jr programs where the first 3 weeks I focus on the bench and then the next 3 weeks would be the squat. No, I mean by double, I'd be running them at the same time. So for the first week, bench and squat, second week, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, and by the end of the 3 weeks, I'm expecting some kind of bench and squat gains for the both, and it does seem taxing, but I'll get into the program in detail later. But first I want to just explain what kind of program we're getting ourselves into before we get into the nitty gritty. So the Smolov Jr program, it's a powerlifting program. It's a hard one as well. It goes over the course of 3 weeks. You'll be training 4 days per body part per week. And with this program, you can basically do it with, your standard, your big compound lifts. So you can do this with the bench, your squat, your overhead press. I'm not so sure with your deadlifts, because I've read online somewhere that, well, there aren't many people that have actually used this program for the deadlifts, only because that you're training 4 days a week, and the deadlifts itself, it's kind of a really taxing kind of exercise that if you just do it 4 times a week, you're buying yourself one-way ticket to Snap City, my friend. So yeah, bench, squat, overhead press, I think you're solid if you want to get any more strength gains out of that. But yeah, as I mentioned, it is a powerlifting program designed to increase your strength gains, and the prospect of this strength gain would be probably around 15 kilos for the bench, or I think for the squat as well, around that by the end of the 3 weeks. So it's a big gain. It's also really demanding, so they don't recommend running this kind of program consecutively or often, because, well, I have done this program once in the past, back when I was in high school, and yeah, I did the first 3 weeks, and after that I did make some gains. I did jump my bench from 75 kilos to 95, so it was a huge 20 kilo jump, but the result of that was I had some kind of shoulder joint pain following the next 3 weeks or so after that, and it wasn't nice. But the gains, I think it was kind of worth it at the time. I did let myself rest, and since then I've been able to lift that kind of number, and overall my bench has just been stronger than my squat and deadlift. So my strength for those 3 lifts is kind of unproportional, so I want to fix that by doing it with the squat, and yeah, with the bench as well. Let's just try and up that as well. But yeah, let's have a look at the website. So the Smolov Jr, it's a child kind of program to its parent, the original Smolov program, which is a 13-week course. I barely looked into it. It's pretty insane, and I'm no power lifter, just an ego lifter, so that's why we're here in the junior version. Yeah, so let's go over it. So as I mentioned, you work 4 days a week on your one body part. So for this example, we'll use the bench. So on Monday, you do 6 sets, 6 reps as well. So already the first day, it's high volume, so that's why it's quite a difficult program to run. So just be wary of that. And then the next day, you would up the set by 1, lower the rep by 1, so it'd be 7 to 5. And then Friday and Saturday, same thing, up it, lower the rep, and then yeah, same thing. Look at that, the final day, 10 sets of 3. So, and you do this for the next 3 weeks or so. So very challenging, especially these last 2 days, because if you realize, Monday you'll have the first the beginning of the week, a rest day in between. You have Tuesday off, and then between Wednesday and Friday you have another day off. But then towards the end, you have Friday and Saturday back to back, with the more demanding kind of set range. So it is really challenging towards the end of the week, and you'll do this 3 times, and yeah, let's just be cautious of that. So here's some little calculation. It's in pounds, so I'm not gonna really look over it. But as well, this program is designed off your 1 rep max, so it'll calculate how much weight you're going to do for the 6 sets, and then for 6 reps, and blah blah blah, and then you'll generally slowly increase it throughout the course of the week, and then all the way to the end, which I'll show you later. It does mention here some accessory work. It's saying it's not recommended, only because we're already training the body part 4 days a week, and that's already enough tax or enough demand on the body itself for that body part. And if you just introduce accessory work on top of that, you're gonna risk overtraining as well as risk the result of the program itself. So highly unrecommended. But if you really need accessory work, maybe just do something light, I guess. Maybe 1 exercise, like, I don't know, flies, but really don't do it at all. You're already training it hard enough. What I do recommend though is like to maybe include some kind of exercise for a body part that isn't really directly targeted towards like your bench or like your chest. So for example, maybe the start of the workout I do the bench, right? So I do the 6x6, and then following that I'd probably do like maybe pull-ups, for example. Like I hit the back, something that's away from the chest. Or if I'm not running the double Smolov Jr program, which I'm gonna explain later, maybe I do like maybe some squats or calf raises, or I don't know, anything that doesn't involve the chest, or maybe in the triceps even, because the triceps works hand in hand with the chest when you're doing the bench press. So I'd avoid any kind of accessory work relating to that area. But yeah, back totally you can do. So yeah, if you want to actually get a workout in rather than just going to the gym, hit the bench and then just go home, you can include exercises like pull-ups or whatever. So yeah, and then yeah, this kind of program, there's a lot of success stories about it. A lot of people saying they've gotten 15 kilo, 20 kilo strength gains, and it's a pretty crazy number considering it's only a 3-week program. How much more if it was like the actual full Smolov program of 13 weeks, you know? So and yeah, like I mentioned, I did run this before and it was proven, but then again, like any other program, you're gonna hit like a wall. Like it's like these programs don't make you grow exponentially. There's an actual exponential decline on how much you can increase your lifts in terms of how much weight you can do. And in saying that, when I first ran this program, I was kind of new, I would say, to the compound lift of bench, and maybe that's why I was able to jump a huge whopping 20 kilos from my 1 rep max at the time. I don't know about now, because my bench at the moment, I've kind of hit a plateau, so I know my limit at the moment. And in saying so, running this program on top of being at a current plateau, the results are kind of questionable, but we're gonna see anyway. So yeah, but yeah, that's the Smolov Jr program essentially. But let's get into the double. Oh, actually, I still need to talk about the calculator. So as I mentioned, this whole workout regimen is calculated off your 1 rep max. So the website itself has its own calculator, but it's in pounds. So if you're like in Australia or whatever, and you want it in kilos, there's this website I found, joshmahoney.com. I'll link it in the description if you want. But yeah, basically, essentially the same calculator as they have on the official website, except it can be in kilos or pounds. So that's a good thing. So for example, I'm gonna put in. So all you do is you enter your 1 rep max here, the increment, and all the weight will be calculated for you. So it's really as simple as that, and you just follow the program to the end. So here I'm gonna put 100 with an increment of 5, and what that means is, so the first week the starting weight is 70, right? And then you work blah 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 all the way to the end, and with the increment of 5, you're gonna bump up the weight by 5 towards the following week. So 70 here, 75, and then 80. So it goes up by 5. So if you change that to 10, it goes up by 10. 70, 80, 90. And the higher you go, the harder harder weight you're gonna lift. And most people would normally do 5 or 10 increments, between 5 to 10. We're gonna stick with 5 since like I mentioned, I've hit a kind of plateau with the bench, so I'm not really expecting as much gains as I would with the squats that I'm also gonna enter. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So for my bench, 100 increment 5, this is the weight I'm gonna do, and all the way to the end. You'll see that on the final day you'll do 10 sets, 3 reps of 95. So essentially 95% of your 1 rep max, you're gonna do 10 sets of those for 3 reps at the end of the 3 weeks, which was insane at first. When I first did it, I thought, this was impossible, but I just wanted to see it to the end. So, and you know what, I did go through with it. So it does work, so long as you're eating well, so long as you're doing the adequate warm up, cool down, stretching and whatnot. Just keep your body healthy. You should be able to make it to the end. But yeah, when I ran this the first time, my max was 80. It wasn't really 80. My max at the time was actually 75. But I entered 70. I entered 80 anyway because I thought, I did attempt 80 maybe that week prior, and I like half got it up. So that week when I started to do the program, I thought, you know what, I'm pretty confident I can hit 80, so let's just put 80 as my 1 rep max, and that's what I did, and I made it through to the end. But with my current 1 rep max, I think I can do 105. Not that I've tried yet, because the weights that I have at home, I don't have any 2.5 incremental weight plates to use, so I only go up by 10s. So we're gonna just stick to 100 as my 1 rep max, and just to be on the safe side, stay with 5. And there you go. For the squat, my squat's 120. I know it's pretty low, and we're gonna go with 10 since I'm still just gotten into training my squats, and I feel like I'm getting a lot of strength gains out of that because I'm rather fresh. So I feel like an increment of 10 is kind of reasonable to try with this program. So that's what we're going with. And plus, squats overall in general, I feel like you can just increase your weight more higher than you would with a bench, which is a movement that isn't as taxing as a squat, for example, and the most taxing of all, the deadlift. So we're gonna go with 10. And same thing, you start with 85, 95, and then by the end of the week, 100. And I'm not going to use this little extra 2.5 when I'm doing my program. I'm just going to round it down to 100. So this one's going to be 110, 120, only because I'm not going to bother buying 1.25 plates. Like, I have cast iron plates at home, and those plates already, they're not down to the decimal, you know what I'm saying? They're cast iron plates that have like a maybe 0.5 kilo or 0.05 kilo tolerance, plus minus kind of leeway. They're not down to the decimal, so if I put 1.25 on top of this, it's not going to make much difference because my weight isn't exactly on the dot. So yeah, we're just going to round that down to 100 just to simplify things, and yeah, we'll get to it. So after calculating all of that, I structured the program as so. So the double Smolov Jr, so bench and squat. So what I realized was, if I'm going to be running this at the same time, because I wanted to both increase my bench and squat, I couldn't wait any longer to like just have a 3-week block of just solid bench and then the next just squat. I was a little impatient, so I want to run them at the same time, see how that goes. But what I've noticed is doing so will require me to train non-stop every day, starting tomorrow, all the way till the end. So I'm essentially training every single day, and I don't know if that's too much, but if you look at it at a more general perspective, you're only really training each day 2 exercise max, or 3. You're only doing the bench, some other body part work, and it's not as challenging as a standard workout where you have like 3 sets of each, or 3 exercises for each body part and whatnot. So that's why we are able to maybe do it this way. I think it's still possible, so long as you keep it light, 45 minutes max, or maybe 1 hour, considering if you take your time warming up on each exercise. So I still think it's reasonably possible and not too demanding. So yeah, I've already calculated everything, so I'll put this in, and then I just filled these in using the calculator on this website manually, and yeah, there you go. So this is what I'll be starting with tomorrow. 6 sets of 6 reps for 70. I don't have the 2.5 kilos with me at the moment. I just ordered some right here, as well as some chalk. So that might come in maybe later, towards the end of the week, hopefully sooner. Kind of doubtful, but we're just gonna see how we go with it. I think I have some spare plates that aren't Olympic sized. I'll have to have a look, but yeah, this is kind of a problem. I might, I was thinking maybe I should run this once I actually do get this plate, but it doesn't really matter. I just want to get into it, ASAP. So yeah, we'll worry about that when it comes. So 85, and then that's for squat. I color coded it so it's just easier to look at. I'll have this on my phone too. This is on Google Excel sheets, so it'll be easy to access and alter if need be. Yeah, squat, bench, and what I realized was, like I mentioned, the last 2 days are back to back, so that was kind of a problem for me, because since I'm running both bench and squat, I realized towards the end of the week these two will collide, so you'll actually have to do squat and bench on the same day, and that was kind of a problem, because the first time I was gonna actually try and start the program today on a Sunday, with the squat, and what that would have done was it'd be squat, bench, and then on Friday it'd be squat and bench both, and that won't really work out well for me since I do have work, and it's gonna be just, I don't know, I'll probably be dead by the end of the day, and I do risk losing my progression by overtraining, perhaps, just overloaded by a lot of movement, and so I did push it down a day to fix that. So the starting day will actually be on Monday, starting with bench, and then on Saturday, where I'm free, I can run both days on this day. So how I plan to do this is I might run the squat session in the morning, something like that, or yeah, squat session in the morning, and then later in the evening I can probably finish off with the bench. So there you go, I have my sets here, the reps, and then the weight. So, and then Sunday I finish off the last 2 days of the squat. So yeah, the beginning of the week is Monday, and the end of the week is Sunday for me for this double program, and it'll continue like that for the next 2 weeks or 3, upping the increments as I showed you. So the bench up by 5, and then the squat up by 10. So yeah, so then on the end of week 3, where we have our ego week, I'll have 1 rest day, just to actually have some rest, because there's no rest days in between for the duration of the 3 weeks. So honestly, I should have more rest days here, but I want to test my max. So yeah, Monday will be that rest, and then the following day I'll finally have my little ego session where I will test my 1 rep max, and the estimate I have here, and the actual for whatever weight I do manage to lift on at the end of the program. Yeah, so I estimated of a 15 kilo increase, hopefully. Big jump, a little optimistic, but we shall see. Squat up by 20 kilos. Like I said, only because I'm new to the exercise, I feel like I'm having more rapid growth. I'm in that stage where I'm having more rapid growth in my strength gains, because I've only started doing them recently, because I've been neglecting them at the past. skipping leg days every day. So yeah, and then there's a little note I just left just in case I look back to this program in the future and I just want to know the increments. Not that it's a real big deal, I can just look at it and then just discover it that way. But yeah, that's essentially it for the program. So for each workout, like I said, for accessory work, I'm not gonna do much. So for my first workout, for example, I plan to just, hit the bench, and then I'll maybe do pull-ups. So I'll do bench and then finish it off with pull-ups or some kind of other bodily part movement, and I can do that with after the squats as well. So I'm actually gonna hit back every single day, just really lightly, just light work. So maybe, I don't know, 3 sets of pull-ups, for example, for this, and then on Tuesday I'll have maybe 3 sets of Australian rows, and then alternate, keep on doing that, rinse and repeat, just every day, just so the workout is, while I'm having an actual workout, I'm not just doing one exercise and then be done with it, so yeah, or maybe even overhead press, I don't know, but that'll kind of maybe affect the bench results if I do overhead press as an accessory. So maybe I won't do it. Maybe I'll do lateral raises instead. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just be creative when the time comes. But yeah, I'm gonna plan to do pull-ups for that, and that's it for the program. I'm expecting these to be reached by the end of the 3 weeks. I don't know. I'm kind of confident, kind of excited too to see if this program still works. It worked for me in the past, and it was really exciting at the time. Like, people didn't expect me to be able to climb my bench that fast in the matter of 3 weeks, and I feel like this program is like some kind of hidden gem that not many people know. And if you're interested, you can give it a try. I'll have the link in the description. And after the 3 weeks, I'll show you if the program has worked for me. And let's hope so. Yeah, that's about it, I think. No deadlifts over the course of 3 weeks as well. That would affect my squat, so unfortunately I'm going to have to skip that. But anything other than that, I think that's it. If I need to add anything else, I'll leave it in the description. But that's it for the program. Okay, bye.